All right, welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. You're watching TV47 Weekend Edition, and it's time for To The Point. And tonight, we are talking matters engaging men and boys as allies in combating gender-based violence. Remember, today is the day 14 of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. And December 8th typically focuses on creating or raising awareness about the impact of GBV and advocating for solutions to end such violence. Now, as always, just to start us off with some data before we get right into this conversation, let's just start with the scope of the problem. Now, 1 in 3 women have been subjected to physical or sexual violence by an intimate partner or non-partner sexual violence, or both. That is 30% of women, that is according to WHO. Let's take a look at the global comparison. Now, in Kenya, 30% of women experience physical or sexual intimate partner violence in their lifetime, or even both. Of course, we have other sources with varying figures. We have Kenya Red Cross right here in studio, and you'll also help me with those figures that we have right now that you're looking at. At United States, 25% of women experience physical or sexual intimate partner violence in their lifetime. And in India, it's 29%, Brazil 33%, and United Kingdom 28%. Now let's take a look at the demographic breakdown. There's more prevalence rates for women aged 15 to 19, 20 to 24, up to 49 years of age. Higher rates of GBV are often observed among women with lower education levels. Links between GBV and households' wealth quintiles are explored, and rural areas often report higher prevalence due to traditional norms. That is according to the Kenya Demographic and Health Survey. Let's take a look now at the trends by region. High prevalence regions, we have Nyanza and Western, and that is linked to deeply entrenched cultural practices and norms. We have Rift Valley, larger population size means higher absolute numbers, and once again that is according to the KDHS. Low prevalence regions, we see Nairobi, high awareness and access to GBV support services, and the guests we have in studio can attest to that now that they're doing more work in the informal assessment right here in Nairobi. And in a few, I'll engage them to understand why not in Nyanza and Rift Valley regions, where we see that there are more prevalence cases right there. We have, again, low prevalence regions. You have Central, where cultural shifts and socio-economic factors likely contribute to low cases of GBV. Once again, that is according to the Kenya Demographic and Health Survey. Now, just to mention types of violence assessed by the KDHS, we have physical violence, which includes acts such as hitting, slapping, kicking, or other physical harm. We have sexual violence, emotional violence, economic violence. Although this is less emphasized, it may involve withholding financial resources or economic manipulation. Now, perpetrators of violence, according to KDHS, once again, violence committed by intimate partners, violence by family members, violence workplace related. Now, let's take a look at legal frameworks. We have the Sexual Offense Act of 2006, which establishes penalties for sexual crimes and safeguards survivors' rights. We have Protection Against Domestic Violence Act of 2015. This provides protection and remedies for domestic violence survivors. We have Children Act 2001. This addresses violence against minors, including provision against child marriage and abuse. Now, in 2023, just to mention, Kenya established at least 5 specialized sexual and gender-based violence courts in regions, including Siaya, Kisumu, Kibra, and Makadara, to just expedite GBV cases and improve access to justice for survivors. Now, let's take a look at policy initiatives. National Policy on Prevention and Response to GBV 2014. It guides GBV prevention and response strategies across sectors. We have a National Gender and Equality Commission. It monitors and promotes gender equality, ensuring GBV policies are implemented effectively. Now we have Kenya's Roadmap to Advancing Gender Equality 2021, and this is where it gets interesting. Now, this aims to eliminate all forms of GBV and female genital mutilation, FGM, by 2026, focusing on systemic barriers. These actions are part of the country's broader efforts to address GBV and related issues such as HIV infections and teenage pregnancies, with a target to eliminate the triple threat by 2027. And that includes the conversation we're having tonight, gender-based violence. Karibuni sana to studio, gentlemen and a lady. How are you doing?
Good.
Just to start here, where just right next to me we have Peter Mwaniki, and Peter is a young man resilience champion from the Mathare region. We have Charlene Nasimiyu, Charlene or Charlene? Charlene Nasimiyu, GBV officer, Kenya Red Cross, and right next to Charlene on her left is Valentine Onyango, a young man resilience champion from Mukuru, Fuata, Nyayo. Now, you will be helping me with this conversation tonight, and we know how important it is right now. We are talking about eliminating gender-based violence by 2026, and that is according to Kenya's Roadmap to Advancing Gender Equality 2021. The Ministry of Health aims to eradicate this triple threat by 2027. Clearly, we're supposed to gain ground by 2027. Yeah. Are we in the right track indeed, or are we losing track? Peter.
Actually, we're in the right track. Because we are focusing on engaging young men, since young men are said to be the first perpetrators of the GBV. So we are trying as much as possible, including the young men in our programs that we have in Mathare. As a champion, we normally have a program known as the YMR, that's the Young Men Resilience Program, that involves young men, especially in the behavioral change.
All right, we'll be getting into that topic of engagement quite in a few. But Charlene, just to get your views, are we in the right track, or we're losing track in terms of combating gender-based violence?
Okay, to say we are on the right track may be an understatement to say, but I believe change is gradual and it takes time for us to get there. But from the statistics we're getting, especially from the Sustainable Development Goals report in 2021, we actually realize that we are still not yet on track. Because yes, GBV is an agenda that we're talking about right now. This is something that people are talking about right now. Countries are really trying to do a lot. You've shown us some about the legal policies that are in place, legal frameworks, the policies that are in place, some of the things that the government is doing, but still we are not seeing initiatives that are being brought, or rather funds that are being set aside to address gender-based violence. And that is why also we are here today, so to speak, so as to just show the importance as to why we need to allocate funds in combating gender-based violence, and also why we need to really make it a big issue, or rather a matter of national importance for our country, so to speak.
You've mentioned the legal framework. Hold on to that point. I'll be coming back to it later on.
Great.
But let me get your views, Valentine, on this conversation that you're having right now. Are you seeing, are we on the right track, or bado tuko nyuma? We see a lot of cases of gender-based violence have been reported this year, and it's not only this year. We saw a rise after COVID-19, that period, and we haven't seen a drop since. So are we on the right track, or we're losing track?
So according to me, nasema kidogo tunajaribu lakini bado. Sababu ukiangalia pale mtaani kuna assumptions mingi, bado vijana wanafanya mambo zao, bado utapata kwa manyumba, bado utasikia nduru usiku, utapata mama lala nje na watoto, utapata some kind of cases zipo, utasikia kuna assault, kuna nini zafanyika, utasikia mtu alidungwa na kisu, utasikia mtu alikufa. So me being part of pia Kenya Red Cross, unapata response bana ziko tu mingi mtaani, ni simu. Inamaanisha ndio tunangangana, tunasensitize, lakini kidogo kwa track kidogo tunafaa tukaze kamba zaidi.
So where are the loopholes exactly, and what do you think, Charlene, should be addressed and must be addressed? Because 2027 is just around the corner. Leave alone 2027. The GEC, the one we were talking about, Kenya's Roadmap to Advancing Gender Equality by 2021. Its aim, it's within 2026 which is next year too. Yeah. So what exactly, where are the loopholes and what should we be doing?
All right, so just to look, when you look at gender-based violence and you're looking at some of the core reasons, or rather the underlying factors that are making GBV to be very prevalent, we're looking at issues of cultural norms, you know, and practices, and also looking at issues of power imbalance. So to address gender-based violence really, and to ensure that this issue has gains ground and we are doing something about it, and to gain a positive trajectory towards addressing it, we start from there. How are we, what are some of the things we are doing to address this, you know, norms that are perpetrating gender-based violence? What are some of these things? Who are the people we are engaging? You know, there is what the issue is, who are the people we are engaging? What are the strategies we are using? So when you're looking at all that, you're looking at, are they geared towards the right direction? And also just not looking at issues holistically and just saying GBV is here, women are usually affected. Let's also look at it at a lens of the gender equality lens and also inclusion lens, you know, so who are the main players? Who do we need to talk to address these issues? So I would really look at issues of power, addressing the power inequality bit of it, and also addressing cultural norms, gender and cultural norms that are really the main reason why we are experiencing all these things we are experiencing today.
When you talk about power imbalance, what do you mean exactly?
When you're talking about power, I mean, there is in the spectrum of power, we can say we have there is power over. This we mean we have people who will always be at the top of the ladder, and them being at the top of the ladder will definitely have privileges. They have advantage over the people who are below. So somebody will take advantage of them being in control of issues to just repress or suppress people who are below them, and also just looking at also power. Right now we're looking at us having a situation where we are having power with. Like, yes, I have power, but how is this power affecting people around me? How is it affecting the people I am under, people who are over, or people? So we're really looking at equalizing things, and that is why the equality bit comes in. Yeah, so instead of people being in power abusing that power, I know people might look or listen to this and just look at it at the maybe workplace spectrum of it. Even in the society, there is a place where in society we cannot say all of us are equal. We have those who have advantage over the others, and in most cases you find men are always above the ladder, and that is why we are coming up with issues of or rather we are trying to come up with projects, programs, or initiatives of ensuring that there is balance of this power. That is why we are having things to do like with the transformative actions and initiatives that are coming about, just to ensure that this power is balanced and everybody or everyone is treated equally, because they are also human beings. Yes.
All right, now when we're talking about male engagement, Peter, is this a conversation that you really want to have? Let's say uko pale nje, you're playing football with your fellow men, or not necessarily playing football, ama mko pale nje mnaongelelea football. Is this a conversation that you as Peter want to really have, and how do you feel about it in terms of being allies in combating gender-based violence?
On that point, actually men want to talk, but the space where they can maybe talk of their issues, it's challenging. So what we do as a team or as champions, we normally have a kind of games, like you said, of football, whereby young men talk and exchange ideas or maybe issues affecting them in terms of gender-based violence. Maybe they are being affected at their household level. They don't have someone to express their feelings to, or maybe their issues to. So at this point, this is where the young men, they come and talk and open up.
All right, I want to understand what young men resilience really stands for. Are they fighting for fellow men, or is it in essence just trying to also teach men how to treat women and how to be gender sensitive? Valentine? So
as for me, I can say that the young men, it is initially making the empowerment to the boy child so that he can understand the value and the life as well. There is those pillars that a boy child should have so that he can cultivate into different problems within the society. And we as men always sindo ndo kama vichwa ya nyumba.
Right.
So tukiwa kichwa nyumba kidogo imepiga kona. So YMR imekuja kujaribu kurudisha tena kwa laini. Wajue what are the responsibility, what are the norms, nini wanafaa kuwa wanafanya within the local setting so that tunaweza protect wasichana, tunaweza protect vijana. Tunaweza protect hata ukimwi yetu. You can see sahi kila mtu analia kuna dogo kuna nini. So unapata hata financial violence inaendelea pale mtaani, lakini kwa kijana ashajua stand yake, anakuwa ni rahisi kuchukua responsibility kwa life.
So in short, it starts from the men, Valentine.
Yeah, automatically you see, I can say, tuanga si ndio perpetrators. Si ndio tuna feel tuna boss the round. So tukiona girl child ndio kuchukua space yetu kidogo, nikaa tunaigonga kichwa kidogo, rudi pale bana, rudi jua area yako. But the initial is when tunataka ku build this world, God alileta them, ama the girl child, for the support purpose. Si kugongwa kichwa, rudi pale chini. Ni akuja kuambia ni aje pale, hii ni wrong, na hivyo unaifanya for support yangu kidogo. So unacheki lazima kijana pia aonyeshwe, anafaa kuwa on top, anafaa kuelimishwa, anafaa kuelezwa ni aje, umelose track mahali. Haja moja kuja walie ndio tukue juu. Wajaletwa wa bleed, wanaletwa hii dunia ndio fanya nini? Tukue happy pale because hao ndio soulmates.
All right, hold on to that point, Valentine. We are taking a very fast short break right at this point, but you're coming back to continue with this. Is this a conversation that you really want to have? Sending your feedback at 22047 and on our social media platforms at TV47 Kenya on Facebook and YouTube, and TV47 News KE on Twitter. You're watching To The Point. Stay with us.